And Lois, are
Yeah.
you gonna read the next question?
Oh, yes. This question is juicy. This is what everyone has been waiting
No,
for.
it's not. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kilalanin Natin podcast. So I'm Erica, your host.
And I'm Lois, your other host.
We will be welcoming a new member on our teams.
And we will also be answering some questions directly from you guys.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erica,
And I'm Lois.
and you're listening to Kilalanin
Kilalanin
Natin.
Natin.
So,
We
okay,
did not do
Lois.
that at the same time. It's fine.
Okay, go.
So, hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to the official second episode of Kilalanin Natin. So, Erica, as of this time of filming, like in this moment, the exam week is over and the
Yes, it's
first
over.
quarter has
Finally
officially
over.
ended. So, how do
Yes.
you feel?
I actually feel well, I don't feel anything. I'm really numb right now. After
Say,
all those exams and all that reviewing and of course all the requirements from this quarter, I feel nothing because I feel like I'm just really numb to everything now. How about you, Lois? How are you
I,
feeling after the first quarter?
I get you, sis. Right now, I just wanna lay down and do nothing. But like, this is a really good release. And masaya ako na maraming oras kasi kanina, nakapag-reminisce ako about like face-to-face stuff. And I was like looking at pictures and videos of us during face-to-face classes. And we were all so like wild.
Wow,
Basta,
wild.
yeah. Like I saw videos from Food Sai. Like by
Oh,
the way,
food
guys,
sai. I miss food sai. I
I
miss
was with
Sir Batoon, Chef
right.
Batoon. We miss
I
you,
was
sir.
I was with Erica in Food Sai class. And uh basically we didn't really have like lessons. We had a few lessons, but then mostly we were just cooking. And then we
And we
there
were
was this
eating a lot.
yeah, yeah,
We
we
were
were
eating what
eating
we
a
were
lot,
cooking. So
right?
yeah, yeah, it was really fun.
We weren't able to cook a poached egg this one time, so we tried cooking like 8 or like 10 poached eggs, and then we only got it then.
Yeah.
So
So what happened that day was that we were tasked to cook eggs like in different ways. So there was boiled eggs, scrambled eggs, sunny side up, and then poached egg, I think. And then we got all the other three like on the first try. Like not
oh yeah,
nakuha namin agad.
yeah,
And then by the time we got to the poached egg, I think we did like 8 to 10 eggs before we could
uh
even get
huh,
one right. And n- just a disclaimer, no food was wasted. We all ate them.
yes.
Pero yeah, that that poached egg was just such a pain. Not only to me but to Sir Bataan because he kept like watching us trying to make a poached egg, and he was just watching us struggling, and he's like, oh my gosh, these children can't do anything.
Disappointing.
Disappointing. Okay, so anyway, Lois, what are we gonna do, or rather, what are we gonna talk about in this episode?
So actually, today wala tayong guest speakers, and we're only gonna talk amongst ourselves so that everyone listening gets to know us a bit more. And we will also be answering some questions directly from you guys.
Yes, so, but before that, we will be welcoming a new member on our team. So,
What?
since
A new
the,
member?
yeah, so, wow, so shocking. So, since the other members have already done it in our primer episode, can you please introduce yourself, Kat, your role, your personal reasons for joining this podcast, and of course, your pronouns?
Hello. Hi
Hi.
guys. I'm
Hi.
Kat and I'm one of the researchers and writers of this podcast. And yung personal reasons ko for joining this podcast. Uh isang araw kasi minessage ako ni Lawrence tapos tinatanong niya ako if I wanted to be part of this podcast. At dati pa man, naririnig ko na yung pinaplano niya for the skill. So, sinabi ko sa sarili ko, if may chance na sumali, I would take it. So, ayun.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So
Ang
we're really glad, Kat, na you decided to join our team.
naisip kasi namin si Kat kasi sobrang witty niya. And we felt
Oh
like
my
she would
God.
be a good fit for the podcast. So, thank you, Kat,
I'm
so much for
flattered.
joining us. And we're
Thank you,
excited
Ren.
to see some of your
Thank you,
stuffs.
Kat. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Ren.
you. Okay, so before we proceed, would you like to say anything else, Kat?
Uh, I would like to say please support this podcast because ang daming effort na nalagay namin into making this work.
Deserve.
Yun lang. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank
Deserve.
you.
Thank you so much, Kat.
Thank you,
See you
Ren.
soon.
See you soon,
Goodbye.
Bye.
Ren. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 So,
Oh.
guys, if you've seen our Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram, we posted a pub mat where Erica, you stated that you were a conservationist, journalist, and environmental advocate. So, do you want to share more about this?
Sure. So, yeah, I am an environmental advocate. I'm a climate reality leader like Lois. We actually took the climate reality training together last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was in September or maybe late August. And actually, she's more active in climate reality than me. Um, but that's because I have other orgs that I attend to. And shout out to Center for Sustainability Philippines. Right now, I'm
Yes.
coordinating their project along with Reserva Youth Land Trust and a lot of other organizations. And this project is called the 1 Million Letters Campaign, uh, where they actually um, they aim to collect 1 million letters that are addressed to our world leaders in order to tackle the climate crisis. So I think this is a really relevant and important campaign that I think would be really effective in helping to battle the climate crisis. Um, and
So
yeah,
true.
and I'm a journalist too. One of my school clubs is the Central Scholar, which is the English newspaper for Philippine Science High School Central Luzon campus. And there I work as the social media manager and also the head of the radio broadcasting team. So, yep, that's it.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like what you're doing is super important kasi we really have to pressure the world leaders, guys. Kasi sila yung may power tapos sila pa yung walang ginagawa. So like we really have to make them know that the climate crisis is super super urgent and it's never going to stop if we don't do anything about it. So yeah, I love what you're doing, Ikai, and she is also a very um an animal nerd.
I don't think I'm a nerd, but I like learning about animals and just random facts about them. So, yeah.
It's okay to say you're a nerd.
I'm not a nerd. No, I swear. I swear. I swear. Okay. So anyway, going back to the pub mat, Lois, you said that you were a social and environmental justice advocate and a vegan. So would you
Oh
like
no.
to talk more about this, Lois?
Yeah, so I am a social and sorry. I
You
am a
were
social and environmental justice advocate and a vegan. And
Mhm.
just to clarify, whatever I said in that PubMat was a joke and I am not a toxic vegan. Thank you very much.
Are you
So,
sure? Are you sure you're not a toxic
yeah,
vegan?
I think everyone can eat whatever they want, Ikai.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's nice.
So, like Ikai said, I'm also a climate reality leader. And what I do mostly there is I do talks. So I do like panel discussions about like the intersection between social issues and environmental issues so that we don't just tackle it from one perspective. So I've done talks about like women in climate change and capitalism and how it contributes to climate change, because I think these are all important factors to consider when we're talking about any problem. We have to look at it from all perspectives, right?
Yeah,
And
that's so true.
about the veganism, I've been a vegan since like 2019. I stopped a bit in the middle because I I went to a nutritionist and then she was like, "Hey, you're not getting enough protein." Uh so I started eating fish, and that's why Ikai saw a picture of a dead fish on my Facebook one
Picture of a dead.
day.
Oh
as in
yeah. Okay.
as
So
in like nahimay na tilapia. Tapos pinost ko.
okay.
Sabi,
So I think it was maybe 2 nights ago when I opened Facebook and I looked through my Facebook memories and I saw that Lois shared a picture of a cooked fish on her Facebook, and I sent it to her and I was like, "This is not very vegan of you, Lois," and she felt attacked.
I'm so attacked. Joke lang. Hindi. Sabi ko, share this tilapia to pass your exams. Pero, after that, a few months later, I went to a vegan nutritionist, and then she taught me how to still gain all the nutrition you need, or like still eat all the nutrients you need even if you're on a vegan diet. So she provided me with like the food I need to eat and the supplements I need. So if any of you are interested, you can hit me up and I'll be there.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people will hit you up, Lois.
Ooh.
Okay, so shall we move on to the question and answer portion of this
Sure.
podcast?
So we compiled all your questions from the online suggestion box and Instagram. And now we're here to answer them. So, Erica, from which would you like to look at first?
I would actually like to go with the suggestion box first.
Okay, let's go. Suggestion box time. So, I think you can ask the first question.
Okay, so it says here that the first question is, do you guys have experience with podcasts? Okay, Lois, do you have experience with podcasts?
Wala.
Well,
That's the short answer. Like, this is my
okay.
first time. I've been wanting to do a podcast for a really long time kasi basically madaldal ako. So, Ikay, do you have an experience with podcasts?
I have a little bit of experience with podcasts. But I kind of have a gist on how it works, I guess. I've recorded a podcast before with Addison Brown. Shout out to Addison Brown. She
Addison
has a
Ray?
podcast. No, not Addison Ray, Addison Brown. But
Aw.
she has a podcast that that is like all about conservation and everything nature. So she asked me to be part of her podcast, and we recorded an episode about how you can be a wildlife conservationist no matter your age or where you come from or your gender. So, yeah. And then I have another podcast coming up. So, yeah, so watch
Abangan.
out for that.
Watch out for that,
Um
guys.
we're still recording it. I think the person who hosts the podcast is still editing it, but I'm not sure when it will come out, but yeah. Stay tuned.
Yes. We send an experienced podcaster. That's why Ikai's voice is so nice. And she was
What?
also part of the TV broadcasting team in school. I was no, she was in the
I'm
radio
part of the radio
broadcasting
broadcasting
and I was part of the TV broadcasting, but I did not do anything there. So,
team.
yeah. So the next question is, how can I also get involved in conservation and wildlife preservation? I think this is a good question for Erica.
Um,
because
yeah.
he's a conservationist. And another person asked, how can I reach Ate Erica? I really want to talk to her about wildlife and conservation.
um, you can reach me through my Facebook, through Facebook Messenger
Send
or Instagram if you
digits.
prefer. No, I'm not gonna send. I'm not gonna put my number out here. Pero yeah, you could reach me if you want to talk about anything wildlife conservation. I can help you. So thank you to the person who asked that. And then how can I also get involved in conservation? My advice is to start small. And I'm not like you could start with your local animal shelters. That's what I did. There's a local wildlife rescue center that's like 20 minutes away from my house. And I started interning there when I was in ninth grade, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a really fun experience. I learned so much, and it was very hands on as well. I got to handle some incredible animals and see how they work and how what their behavior is like, all that, especially native animals in Subic Bay because that's where I live. And yeah, you can start small, and then you can also create, if you're really artsy, if you're into graphic design and layouting, you can create just simple pub mats that you can share on social media. And I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that. And a lot of people um, will be able to gain a lot of knowledge and be educated from your pub mats. So yeah, that's my advice in getting involved in conservation and wildlife preservation.
Yeah, guys, with anything, like, just start small, and like when you start becoming active and everything, you're going to be able to do so much stuff. And what you're doing right now is like really, really cool. So, someone else asked, I want to get involved with wildlife conservation too, but I feel like I can't do it. So, Erica, do you have any advice for this person?
Yeah, I do have a little bit of advice. I disagree with you because you absolutely can do it. The thing is with wildlife conservation and a lot of environmental fields as well, is that there are so many things that you could do in order to contribute to it. So you could contribute through art. You could contribute to making educational materials. You can contribute to just do hands-on work like volunteering at wildlife hospitals or zoos or anything that's near you, um as long as you're safe. And I recommend doing this when COVID is over.
Yeah.
And you could also contribute to wildlife conservation through just plain old education. And what I mean by this is that you could quite literally just go to your parents, talk to them about wildlife conservation, talk to them about biodiversity preservation, and you're already contributing. You're a wildlife conservationist. You are educating people about the importance of um, our planet's biodiversity and the ecosystems they sustain. So, yeah, that's how you can contribute to wildlife conservation. So don't think that you can't do it because you absolutely can. I kind of have a little bit of uh I think I can like relate to you a little bit because at first I also thought that I couldn't do it because growing up, um I've always thought that, like with everything that I see on television, like media, and my older relatives and older people just telling me that wildlife conservation or just maybe zoology in general is something that isn't suited for me in a way that it's more of a male dominated field. And plus, if
Yeah.
you've ever seen me in real life, you'll know that I'm really small, I'm short. I have a small physique. So I don't seem at all strong or anything because when you think of wildlife conservation, you think of going out into the wild and just carrying heavy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And it's that's not always the case. Like you could carry some stuff, but it doesn't have to be so much stuff that you can't carry. Like as long as you know your capacity, you know your capability, and you don't have to stress yourself out when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, I can relate to you a little bit because growing up, I've just um had the impression that people didn't want me to be involved in this field because it's just something that's apparently not suited for me. But of course, you shouldn't really believe that kind of stuff because whatever you want to do, whatever your aspirations and goals are in life, as long as they're not hurting anyone, as long as you're doing what's right and morally and ethically right, then I think that um you can get involved in any field that you want to, like don't believe the people who are telling you that you can't do it or that it's not suited for someone like you, or don't believe yourself. Maybe you have an inner dialogue that says you can't do it, um, you're more suited for this kind of job instead of that kind of job. So yeah, my advice is just going against those negative thoughts, just going through what you really want and what your aspirations are. So yeah, that's it. You absolutely can get involved with wildlife conservation. Okay,
Be
so
who you are.
be who you are. Okay.
That's the
So
gist.
next question. Next question. This is for Lois. So when and how did you begin being vegan? And also, do you have any advice on people who try so hard to eat their vegetables and for people to try leaving meat alone?
Okay, this is a very good question. So, like I said earlier, I started becoming vegan in 2019 when I watched a Netflix documentary called What the Health. And it was basically about how eating meat affected your health and how it contributed to like disease and how it affected the environment and everything in like your lifestyle basically. And after watching that, I kind of felt like eating meat was really not the right thing to do for myself and for the planet, so I stopped. And I know it's a bit hard to like let go of meat. For me personally, I really liked vegetables ever since. That's why it wasn't like super hard for me to let go of meat. Although I did like meat, like a month before I went vegan, I ate like a plate this big full of chicken wings. All to myself, like barbecue chicken wings, and it was really good. I enjoyed every little bit of it. Uh, but you know, advice for people who try so hard to eat their vegetables, I guess just cook it in a way that you would want to eat it. Because the thing with like eating vegetables or eating food in general is you have to enjoy it, Like, I don't think that you should force yourself to eat anything just because you think it's healthy. Because even if, okay, let's say that you are eating something nutritious, if you're not enjoying it and if your mindset is like, okay, I'm just eating this because I feel like it's healthy, but I really don't want to eat it. That's not healthy. And hindi rin sustainable kasi mafe-feel mo na dine-deprive mo yung sarili mo. So, I think just cook it in a way that you would want to eat it. So, for example, if you like fried food, then like search for fried recipes. I can send you recipes. Just hit me up on Instagram at beatrix.ht and I can send you some recipes. And yeah, just uh enjoy the experience. Find vegetables that you like. And also being vegan isn't just about, veggies. It's much much more. So if you want to um explore that world, you can search it up. try searching the happy pair on YouTube and pick up limes. Go
Okay, so
lang.
I actually agree with you on the part where you said that you can kind of modify it in a way that you would like to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to, well, I actually still do, but I hate carrots. I don't like
Really?
carrots.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry if you get
Reasonable.
offended, Lois,
I'm not
but
I'm
I
not
hate carrots.
offended. I used to not like carrots either. I used to not like carrots. I understand.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like carrots. And then
Uh-huh.
um and then whenever my mom makes sopas, because my mom makes really good sopas,
Uh-huh.
because she puts sausages in it. I'm sorry if that offends you as well. But she puts sausages in it. Like that dati kasi parang hotdog yata yung nilalagay niya. Pero ngayon, naglalagay siya ng sausage. So, yung parang soup niya is hindi nagiging red as opposed or like pinkish as opposed
Uh-uh.
to like when you use hot dogs nagiging kasi may food coloring so nako-color din yung sabaw, 'di ba?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pero ayun, so my mom puts sausages in it. So I really like her sopas. But yung parang only reklamo ko with her sopas is that the carrots are too big. They're too big in a way that I don't want to eat them, but at the same time, they're so hard to pick out. So they're
Yeah.
small enough that they're hard to pick out, but they're big enough that I don't want to eat it.
That's the
So
worst.
yeah, yeah, right. So what she did, what my mom did, is that she grated the carrots so that they're really really small, and then I wouldn't be able to pick them out. But if I eat the sopas, I wouldn't be able to taste them as well because they're
Yeah.
just really really small. So yeah, I
Okay.
completely agree. So now this my sopas experience is so much better, because of that
Yeah.
little change in how you prepare the ingredients. So I completely agree with Lois when she said that you can modify it according to how you want to eat it. So yeah.
That's actually a really good idea because that made me think of something because you can actually make vegetable smoothies. I know that okay, I know vegetable
Ew.
smoothies sound like ew, oh my god.
Ew.
I don't want to
What?
drink vegetables. But then actually when you make them, you won't even taste the vegetables. I swear. Like I made this smoothie with kale, which is like a leafy green if you don't know what kale is. And
Yeah.
I also made like a version with spinach. And then I put berries and bananas and uh vegan milk.
What
And
kind of milk? Is it oat? Is it
it's like
almond?
you can honestly you can use anything. I think I used soy milk and almond milk. And
Oh.
then I just like blended all of those together and also peanut butter. I think I did not taste the vegetables, I swear. Like you can't taste it at all, and you won't even know that you're eating vegetables. So if you want to get those veggies in and you don't like the taste of veggies like in general, you can try that. And
Yeah, I agree with the when you said spinach because spinach I actually well, I don't like spinach by itself, but when it's in soup, I don't know
yeah.
if you guys know yung soup sa Chinese restaurants, yung
Oh
kulay
yeah.
green, yung spinach
Yeah,
soup.
alam ko yun.
I don't
Yung
like
seafood
spinach.
thingy.
Yeah, I don't like spinach by itself, but when it's in that soup, I could eat like a whole big bowl of it, and I'd be able to say that I ate so much spinach. Because
May
spinach doesn't
spinach
taste
pala
like
eh.
anything, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I love yung ano. I guess I love other leafy greens like kangkong.
Oh
Kangkong
yeah,
is
dude.
nice.
Kangkong, the
Kang
best.
kaya kong papakin yung kangkong, you know. As
Same.
you know, as long as luto siya.
Oo. Kasi it's, ano, kangkong is naturally sweet. So like,
Wah,
yeah.
okay.
Tas yung next
I
question, may
okay.
nagtanong like people who are trying to leave meat alone. There are really good alternatives to meat. So you can try, I'm not saying that
Could
like
try
you
fake
should
meat like what
always eat
Lois
these.
does.
Yeah, you can try like the realistic ones are Impossible Burger and Beyond Burger. And there are more innovations coming like
Oh, coming up.
coming up.
Abangan.
Abangan. Yeah, there's a lot of research right now on like how to make plant-based meat or uh cell cultured meat, like similar to actual meat. So I think that's a great opportunity. And then uh if you want to feel comfortable, I guess yung ginagawa namin is we cook tofu or vegan meat, mostly tofu, like the
Tofu
same way that
snacks.
we cook we used to cook meat. So ayun,
Oh,
nagluluto kami ng tofu adobo, tofu bistek, and like sweet and sour
ooh.
tofu, and it's all like really good. And yeah, I think the main goal here is just like, don't deprive yourself of what you want. Just find ways to like still give yourself that pleasure. Yeah,
Yeah.
still give yourself the pleasure of eating, even if you've left behind some foods that you like, because you're not really technically you're not really removing stuff. I think this is my mindset. You're not really removing stuff. It's more of entering like a whole new world.
A whole
A
new
new
world.
world. A whole new world of food.
I
Go.
actually got reminded of something kasi
What?
there was this time I went for a sleepover at Lois's house and we were with Jana
Yeah.
who's our other friend nakabatch din namin. And ayun, na sleepover kami and what we had for dinner was like sisig. And so I and like ano pa ba? I think and then for breakfast the next day where there was like tocino. Pero nung
Yeah.
nagsisig kami sa dinner, I asked Lois, I thought you were vegan. Why did we have sisig for dinner? And she was like, eh kasi nandito kayo.
Yeah. Dude, my parents prepare meat for the guests. So like our household isn't like really 100% vegan. My dad's also not vegan. So I mean, like, it's fine with me. Like I said, I think anyone can eat whatever they want. But
Yeah.
like as much as possible, if it were up to me, I would just like give them something vegan.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next question?
Yes, indeed. So, favorite podcasts nyo or podcast recommendations? So, Erica, do you want to go first?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but that's
Ooh.
because here's the thing, though. I would listen to podcasts. Like for example, if I'm doing something, um, tapos I just want like background noise, I could listen
Yeah.
to a podcast. Or if you're planning to have like a long shower, you can
Yes.
put a podcast on and just listen to it while you shower, or maybe when you're cooking or baking something or just prepare or maybe just cleaning the house, ganun, you can put on a podcast. The thing is with me, I would love to do that, but I forget.
Oh
I forget.
no.
I forget that. Oh, I should have put on like after I like for example this one time, no Halloween actually. No, the night before Halloween, I baked a cheesecake and yeah, so it took me like an hour maybe making the cheesecake and because
Yeah.
it should have taken less pero nakalimutan ko set to room temperature yung cream cheese
Oh no.
like yung butter. So, kailangan ko pang hintayin yun. So, yeah, medyo tumagal. And then what I did during that time was I was just listening to music. Although, I love listening to music, but it's the same music that I listen to every day. Like,
Yeah.
like alam mo yung whenever, like I just listen to my same playlist every day. And now every now and then I add songs, I remove songs. Pero
Uh-huh.
it's like the same vibe every day. And
Yeah.
then after that, I realized na, oh, sayang dapat nag-play akong podcast, ganun. So, yeah, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I do listen to my number one podcast on Spotify. I listen to maybe two or three podcasts lang, pero yung
Okay,
number
what
one na
is it?
pinapakinggan ko last year, like alam niyo yung Spotify top something something.
Yeah.
Yung makikita mo kung ano yung um, pinakamadalas na pinapakinggan mong songs or podcasts sa Spotify. last year, no 2020, it was, oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. Wait lang.
Kaya mo yan, kaya mo yan.
Wait. Sandali. Okay, guys, sorry sa search ko. Oh my gosh, what? How did I forget?
Nako.
Wait lang
Fake
ah.
listener.
Okay, I know now. I listened to Conservation Tribe by
Oh.
Earth Offline. So Earth Offline is like um it's an Instagram page, or it's like an Instagram blog, and they post a lot of different publication materials that are really visually appealing. You should go check them out on Instagram. I think it's at earth.offline. And the person who's behind the account, um we've talked to each other a couple times through Zoom. And I think he's from New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we just follow each other on Instagram, but we're not very close. But nonetheless, I love his podcast. It's a really nice podcast. He interviews a lot of different people from different countries about conservation, most especially wildlife conservation, and it's a really nice listen. So you guys, I recommend that. I recommend Conservation Tribe when if you're looking to get into conservation, or if you just want to learn something new in general. I learned so many new things from listening just one of his episodes. So yeah, that's what I recommend.
Yeah.
I also recommend the podcast that I recorded. You guys should listen to it.
We leave it
I
in the
would
show
like
notes.
to apologize because I was really nervous. Well, that was my first podcast ever, so I was really nervous. I was really nervous when we recorded it. We actually recorded it twice. So your first time is when we recorded like the first part, and then the second time when we recorded the second part, it was the host, si Addison Brown, and she was with, I think it was her nephew, I'm not sure. Um and his name is Marley, and he asked me a bunch of questions about wildlife conservation. And it's just so incredible to like hear what children's or the youth's or like the younger youth, like the children's perspective on wildlife conservation, because
Yeah.
they're really fascinated about animals, and as they should, honestly. So yeah, those are my recommendations. How about you, Lois? Do you have any favorite podcasts?
Yes, I am a podcast nerd. I
Yes,
love
yes,
listening
she's
to
always
podcasts.
talking about podcasts.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So, um I listen to podcasts while I'm folding my clothes. If you watch my YouTube channel, you would know like I love folding my clothes.
You love folding your clothes.
Yes, I love folding my clothes. And the stuff I listen to while doing that are first, No Stupid Questions by Stephen Dubner and Angela Duckworth. So they
Oh, I think
are
I listened
a
to that too.
Oh, have you
I
listened
know.
to
I
it?
mean,
I
I don't listen to it. I mean, I've just heard like clips of it on Instagram.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
carry
So
on.
it's a podcast with an economist who's Stephen and a psychologist, Angela. And they're the authors of the books Grit and Freakonomics. And basically, what they do is they answer some burning questions. Like, they ask they ask stuff like how much do our childhood friends like influence us in the future, or like stuff about anything related to like psychology. And it's just super cool because like I love their dynamic. They're such good friends, and also they're so smart. Like, you can ask them a question. I don't know if like they research about the questions beforehand, but they they can just think of a research that backs up like any like claim. And it's just so cool. And if you are nerdy like I am, that's a very good podcast. And they're also funny. And the second one is Anything Goes by Emma Chamberlain. And I love Emma Chamberlain. I'm a huge fan. And her podcast is basically talking about literally anything that she wants to talk about. So she gives advice. She talks about relationships. She talks about like school, fashion, her life in general. And it's like you're talking to your best friend and you're just listening to them and just having a chill moment. So, yeah, those are the podcasts I love listening to. Go check them out. They're all great.
Yes. Okay. So thank you, Lois, for your wonderful podcast recommendations. I'm sure they will greatly help me, who knows nothing about
Oh
podcasts.
no.
Going back to the question, someone asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressful is it being in senior high? Lois, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think 10 being the most stressful.
Okay. I think I can say it's 6 to 10 depending on what you do. For me, it's like an 8 to 9 because
Okay.
like I do a lot of things. I'm doing this
Wow.
podcast. I'm the student council president. I have orgs and college apps and college on top of all of that. Not that these things are like stressors to me. Like I really enjoy them, but like, it's a lot. And the thing with being in senior high is like it's not extremely academic heavy. You barely have any tests, and most of the things you do are like project related. So um you're only gonna be stressed with like college apps and research. But then aside from that, it's pretty chill compared to like um junior high. And my I guess my advice is just take as much as you can take. And you're if you feel like taking in something would not match your capacity or it would be too much, then it's okay not to do it. Yeah. How about you, Ikai? Erica?
um,
Her nickname is Ikai. So like I I call
she
her
calls
both
me
of
Ikai.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so if Lois calls me Ikai again, just know that she means like Erica. Okay,
Yes.
so for me, um, I think medyo same tayo in terms
Mm-hmm.
of um s- um in terms of like uh it depends on what you do or what you take up. So ako kasi since grade 11, I'm in 12th grade now. Since grade 11, I've been a bio major. So yung core subject ko is bio. And in grade 11, it was fairly okay as compared to grade 12. Because grade 12, bio is harder. um, Mainly because although like all the content is like really nice, they're really interesting and engaging. So it'll be really it's really easy to just read your modules and learn a lot from them because they're actually really interesting. But the thing is that bio 4, I'm in bio 4, um, requires you to submit a lot of papers, like a lot of
Yeah.
papers, a lot of essays. We just took, I just took my bio periodical exam, I think in 12 noon, yeah, today, earlier. And the first part, there were two parts to it. And then the first part was like a multiple choice. Is it a multiple choice? No, it's a identification, sorry. The first part was an identification, and then the second part was essay, and there were six essay questions, and then you have to answer each question with 4 to 6 sentences. And yeah, it was difficult for me because you have to write 4 to 6 sentences, and in
Yeah.
some of them you could summarize it into 1 to 2 sentences. So yun, medyo mahirap na ipahaba mo yung sagot mo sa tech kasi nagte-tech din ako. Technology is my elective, and yeah, biotech basically. And compared to my last elective last year, my last elective was agriculture, which was really nice. I like agriculture because a lot of the things that we learn from there are about animals, and I love animals. So yeah, it wasn't boring for me. It wasn't difficult for me, I guess, to learn and to read the modules because they really do interest me. But now in tech, it still interests me. But the requirements that we have to do are like you have to create your own board game, you have to create your own design of a chopping board, you have to create your own wallet design, and then for the board game, it has like all these different requirements that come with it. So you have to make a prototype, you have to make like a physical prototype as well. You have to
Damn.
make a video. You have to make like a teaser video where you have to show how the game is played. And then yeah, there's also the final presentation that you have to do. So on top of everything na yun, meron ka pang college applications, diba? Gaya ng sinabi ni Lois, my college applications. And then, of course, a lot of people in my batch are part of organizations, whether it be youth organizations or non-government organizations. And because of this, medyo naging busy rin kami. Ayun, parang on top of everything, 'di ba, may org work pa kami.
Yeah.
And ayun, parang you have to fulfill your responsibilities as a member of the org. So it's a bit difficult. It's hectic. I wouldn't it's hectic. It's difficult because it's hectic. That's what I'm trying to say. So I guess 8 to 9 din. Pero ayun, like sinabi ni Lois, if there's something that you know na you don't have the capacity to take up, then it's okay to just let yourself rest, let yourself have a little um kind of fast. But you can fasting sa gadgets if you think that gadgets stress you out too much. So you
Yeah,
could fast from that.
definitely.
That's what Lois does a lot. She
Yeah.
fasts from social media. So ayun, kapag if you want to reach her agad, you have to message her through iMessage or through text message kasi dun siya sasagot agad. Kasi pag nag-message ka sa messenger, di niya makikita agad yun dahil she likes to take a break from social media, which is really nice. I recommend that. I've done it a few times, not as often as Lois does it, but I've done it a few times and it's really nice. It really just relaxes your brain and everything. So, ayun. Scale of 1 to 10, yes, 8 to 9. Both kami ni Lois. We have around 3 to 4 questions left. And I also,
Deserves.
um, it's 4:56 right now. Lois was supposedly um going to be in a meeting at 5 p.m. I also have a meeting at 5 p.m. But
Oh,
it's not very urgent. So, but Lois asked to get it moved to have it moved at 5:30.
for
And
you.
yeah, for me, guys, this is what happens when Lois loves someone too much.
Yes.
Loves someone too much.
Ano,
Yeah, they
swerte na
they
lang
move
yung magiging
mountains.
jowa ko.
They move mount Lois moves mountains and
I
moves meetings just so she can satisfy you. That's what she does when she loves you.
that does not sound right. That sounds a bit wrong.
Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the question. So, Lois, can you read the next question, please?
So, what are your scale projects last year? Just so you guys know, I think we mentioned it in our last episode. Scale projects are basically extracurricular activities that are a requirement in our school. So, like, we get more
Yeah.
exposure outside of academics. So, Erica, what was your scale project last year? Wait, mine was like a memorization course by Jim Quick. So I bought the course in the summer, but then I didn't finish it, so I just did it in the school year. But then honestly, it wasn't that good. Like I kind of don't trust online
Wasn't
courses
that good?
anymore. Like just I don't recommend it basically. So, Erica, what did you do?
My camera's about to die. But what I
Oh
did for
no.
scale last year was I took a filmmaking course, which was also an online course, but they were really hands on with you, unlike a lot of online courses where they just
Yeah.
give you videos. So this course was really nice. It's by Udemy. And yeah, you could directly talk to the people who created the course, you could email them and stuff. So it was really nice. And then I created a short film about urban wildlife in the Philippines. I interviewed a lot of different professionals for urban wildlife. One really um, memorable interview was when I interviewed Sir Benjamin Vallejo, which was also my mentor when I did an SIP in grade 9. And yeah, he taught me so much, and he also gave me advice for college because um he he asked me if I was going to college the following year, and I said no, I still have grade 12 and then I'm going to college. And then he gave me a really helpful advice cuz he's a professor at UP Diliman. So yeah,
Ooh.
he gave me really good advice, and I'm really thankful. So yeah, that was my skill project last year. And let's move on to the next question while my camera isn't dead yet. Um, how to be better at public speaking. So Lois, I know you have you've spoke publicly before, especially in
Yeah.
panel discussions and speeches for SM. So how to be better at public speaking?
Honestly, just I mean, there are two ways you can go about it. First, just be really prepared. Like, um, prepare your speech, memorize it, or like use a teleprompter and just, speak. And second, and this is the approach that I take more, just feel like you're talking to a friend because it takes the pressure off. Like, you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I should be good, I should like impress the audience. No, you're not thinking of that. You're just thinking, okay, like, how would I talk about this to my friend? So, hey guys, what's up? Something like that. And you also just get better at public speaking the more you do it and the more you practice, because honestly, I still get nervous sometimes when I do speeches, but then it it just gets better and better every time I do it, because I become more and more confident in my skills, and I develop like even more skills as I go on. So, yeah, so just be prepared, think that you're doing it for a friend, and just practice. And isipin nyo na lang na hubad yung mga audience mo. So, joke
No,
lang.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, so my advice, it's the same with Lois, just be relaxed, and the more you do it, the more that you can improve. And Lois, are
Yeah.
you gonna read the next question?
Oh, yes. This question is juicy. This is what everyone has been waiting
No,
for.
it's not. It's not,
What?
guys. It's not.
Someone asked, what does Ikai look for in a guy? Ooh.
I just wanted to say, who the heck sent this? I'm sure this is like a troll or something, but
No.
literally, this is no. But
Future jowa mo.
no,
Joke.
no. Um,
Malay
this is
mo.
this is such a scam, guys. I thought we were going to be be nice with our
Tea
questions.
time. Tea time. Tea time. Let's go.
My answer is that I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm in
Wow.
school. I'm about to go to college. You know, um, that's not really top of my priority list.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll get there when I get there. I'll cross the bridge when I get there.
Damn. She a strong, independent woman or something.
Okay, so with that, I think we've received enough from the suggestion box. Let's move on to the
Yes.
other questions from Instagram.
Someone asked how to handle being overwhelmed with school, social life, etc. And a lot of people asked stuff related to this, like how do you stay on top of everything, and tips on time management skills and planning. So, Erica, do you want to go first?
How to handle being overwhelmed with school and social life. Um, my advice is to find time for yourself. If you think that you can't go to a certain event or attend a certain event because you feel burnt out, then you know you could rest. There's no wrong in resting. Also, another thing is that if you're feeling overwhelmed with school and requirements, my advice is that if you're tired, then go to rest. You know,
I
you
agree.
you can rest. Like there's nothing wrong with resting. Like you can rest, but like don't give up. Like resting, like taking a break is different from taking like quitting. So yeah, if you know that you can finish it, and you still need to take a rest, then you absolutely should. And another thing is that to avoid getting overwhelmed with lots of requirements or lots of tasks is to not cram, because that's also a factor, I guess, that if you procrastinate too much and everything gets and piled on top of each other, and then you have to finish everything at the last minute, it's going to be really stressful. So as much as possible, avoid procrastinating. Just do what you have to do right away.
Yeah, I completely agree with what Erica said. Cause, I kind of stopped procrastinating, in grade 12. Like, I know that's like really really late to stop, and I still do it sometimes. Not really procrastination, more of like productive procrastination, but uh I barely procrastinate anymore because I am surrounded by people who do not procrastinate. Like they do the requirements at the start of the quarter, and then I get influenced to also do those requirements at the start of the quarter. So I guess the first thing for me would be just surround yourself with people who are also good at managing their time. And yeah, Erica would also know this because we're in the same friend group. And the next thing, which is also related to what Erica said, is make time for yourself. Like, actually set boundaries for yourself. Like, at this time, okay, I'm not going to mind anything else. On this day, I'm not going to mind anything else. So, for me, what that means for me is I try, keyword try. I try to sleep at like 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, we
Not
actually
always
troll
success.
her. We troll her for sleeping at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, but it makes me feel great. So, what you gonna do about
Yeah,
it?
you should do what makes you feel great. Don't listen to us.
Yeah, don't listen to Erica. Joke.
No.
Yeah,
Okay, so are we
and
going to the next
oh
question now?
no, may idadagdag lang
Okay,
ako.
go go.
And I exercise every morning like 5 times a week. Uh
I
like
do
as soon as I
Zumba.
wake up. Ooh, damn
Like there's a
Zumba
Zumba
girl.
instructor that goes to our house, and then she dances, and then we have to like follow her. Like I
Yeah.
I
Oh
do
my
Zumba with
god.
my mom and my sister and my grandma.
Guys, we're gonna release some special footage of Erica
No, we're
doing
not.
Zumba. Yes, abangan. Daming
Cut the cameras,
aabangan,
we're not.
guys. Ito yung pinaka importante. Pero,
No.
ayan, the last thing is I I have family movie nights every Saturday night or like Sunday afternoon. And yeah, so yeah, I just create some time for myself and some boundaries. And yeah, like what Erica said, sometimes I don't go on social media because that's what I feel like I need. So just evaluate, what do I need? What do I feel like doing? And just listen to your body, and uh you'll be good, I promise.
Okay,
So,
so next question. Do you have a to-go song or to-go songs
go
when
to.
you're tired, sleepy, sad, hyper? Haha.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
You do?
So,
What's your to-go song?
when I'm tired, I listen to like indie sad songs. So I listen to a lot of um I listen to some Claro. I listen to wait, let me check. Here, I have it here.
So, while Lois is checking, my answer is just really short, so I'll say it right now. To go songs, anything by Taylor Swift. Because honestly, her whole discography, discography, disco, her whole like
Discography.
discography, she has songs that she has songs for everything. Like if you're feeling sad, she has songs
So
for that. If you're feeling
true.
happy, she has songs for that. If you're feeling heartbroken, she has songs for that. If you're feeling in love, she has songs for that. If you're feeling tired, she also
She
has
has
songs for
songs
that.
for that.
If you're feeling angry, she has songs for that. If you're feeling relaxed, she has songs for that. So, yeah. If you've never listened to Taylor Swift before, most definitely should because she has songs for every occasion ever. So, yeah, I recommend Taylor Swift. Okay,
That's
Lois.
so
How about
true.
you? What are your to-go songs?
I honestly listen to I listen to a lot of Billie Eilish. I love Billie. I'm probably one of her number one
Billy.
fans. Yeah. Especially when I'm like tired, sleepy, and sad. And also hyper. Oh my god.
Hyper.
Dude, I will name okay, about the sad indie songs I was saying a while ago. Try listening to the Marias, the band. I love them so much. And I listen to their songs when I'm feeling like sabog and all. So when I'm
Sabog.
tired, when I'm hyper, listen to Happier Than Ever or Oxytocin. And sad,
Cause you
listen
never treat me this.
shit. Okay.
Okay.
When I'm sad, I listen to Listen Before I Go by Billie Eilish. When I'm sleepy, I listen to Haley's Comet. And when I'm tired, I listen to Bored. So those are just some of her songs. And I just love, love, love all of her songs. So thank you so much for that question. And last question. Let's go.
Last question.
What are your top three career choices in the future? Ooh, juicy.
Wow. Okay, so top three career choices for me would probably be in no particular order. Okay. Um, Zoologist. I want to be a zoologist. I want to work with animals. Um, zoologist slash wildlife conservationist because they're quite
Yes.
similar. And then second, probably like something something about like marine biology. So cool. Especially the person I mentioned before, the Sir Benjamin Vallejo. He's a marine biologist and he also has a PhD in it, I think. And he does a lot of cool stuff. He took us to Manila Ocean Park and we got to see like the behind the scenes of
Ooh.
aquariums. Like we got to be behind the aquariums, like
What was it
everything that goes
like?
on behind there. It was so cool. Like there were a lot of pipes and everything, and all those pipes are like the ones that filter the water and everything. So it's really cool. It's a really complex thing. Like if you think of aquariums, sometimes you just think of water and then fish inside
Yeah.
and just it's like just a tank, you know. And then we kind of nadaanan natin yung fact na there are a lot of processes like you have to check the pH of the water, the salt level, and everything according to yung natural environment ng fish because you have to, you know, replicate that. And we all and if you've ever been to Manila Ocean Park or if you've been to aquariums before, like especially big aquariums, most likely you've seen an aquarium where it's like a tunnel and then you go through the tunnel and then you see um like the big fish inside
Yeah,
that
yeah.
glass aquarium
Yeah.
tunnel, like yung stingrays, yung sharks and everything. And we got to see what that looked like above
Damn.
because sa above yung parang water ano niyan. Then
Uh
nakita namin, tapos parang, wow, so cool. Tapos we got to go inside for free because I think Sir Benj was like he's a scientist, I think, for Manila Ocean Park. Like yeah. And then parang we got to go in for free because kasama namin siya. So yeah, very cool.
Wow. Special
Yeah.
access.
Yeah. And then third career choice. I want to be like a documentary presenter. I'm not sure if I'm capable enough for that because I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to, I guess, television presenting. But yeah, I feel like that's such a cool job. You get to travel and then you get to learn as well. You get to talk to people from different places and different cultures. So that's amazing and I really want to do that. That might be my top one, but yeah, I'm not sure. So, 17 pa lang naman ako. It's quite
So
far
true.
pa naman.
Yeah, I don't
Di
think
ko
you have
di
to.
ko I don't worry about it too much naman.
Yeah. I mean, these things are all gonna change eventually,
Yeah,
like
I agree.
throughout our lifetime. So don't feel pressured to just stick with one thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about you, Lois? Top three career choices. What
Yung
are
sa
yours?
akin, I talked to my therapist about this. Legit. Um, I was a bit confused before because I really didn't know what to do, and I was like, I was kind of worried that the college course I was gonna take wouldn't actually match what I wanted to do in the future. But after like processing it and talking about it a lot, I realized that what I want to do is to basically work with people and like, I mean, work directly with people to help try and solve their problems on like a larger scale.
Scale
No,
project.
not that scale.
Okay.
Not that scale. Trying to like implement solutions, like long term, uh, large scale solutions to their problems. So first, uh, I want to. I was thinking of becoming like an environmental planner, so like I can help
I
plan like,
have planners.
oh
I have a
yeah.
2021 planner. I
Ako
use it
rin may
every day.
planner ako. Magiging planner na lang ako. Magiging book na lang. Magiging book na lang ako.
She
ito
said.
yung ito yung pages. Pero yeah, it's something I've been considering. So like basically I'm going to decide like where this building should be, or where this thing should be in like this certain environment. And the second one is something related to like law or policy making, because I love like reading in general. I love reading in general, and I love closely reading stuff. Uh Sometimes I edit my sister's essays for like for fun, and
For
I
fun.
just yeah, because she makes me edit her essays, and like sometimes with laws I like get a PDF, and then like I read it and I try to see what's wrong with it and everything. So I think that's a sign that I can be a lawyer or a policymaker. And
Lawyer.
yeah, and the third one,
Handa
I'm
siyang maglaban para sa'yo as
handa,
a
oh,
lawyer.
tama yan, as a lawyer. As a lawyer.
Uh, yeah, just a lawyer, yeah.
just a, just a lawyer. And the last thing is, hmm, oh yeah, yung lawyer pala. I'm thinking of like specializing in like environmental law to like help solve cases
Mm.
na related to the environment. And then the last thing, I'm actually not entirely sure. Those are like the two things that uh I was really, thinking about doing. And I know what I don't want to do though. I don't want a desk job. Like
Same.
I don't.
Or may well, I kind of want like a because some jobs, especially with wildlife conservation, if you're conducting researches, you have to be both like outside, and then there are some aspects of it where you have to actually sit and do stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So you
but
want the
not. I
outside
don't
ones.
want like a desk job that's just desk job,
Oh
like
yeah,
with
yeah,
nothing.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Ako rin, ako okay lang naman ako na like sitting at the desk for some time. But then if it's like 24/7 at
No,
the
no,
desk,
bro, no.
count me out. Like, oh yeah, the third one. I mean, not as like maybe as the main thing. Like I really want to pursue like this like content creation, YouTube, podcasting, because I find it really fun, and I I think I can do it pretty well. And yeah,
I agree. You can do it
and
pretty well.
like content
I believe
creation,
in
also
you.
like starting a business, and you know just experimenting, doing my own thing, and seeing where that takes me. So yeah, because like
Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas for many different stuff. So I hope you stay tuned for all of those. And I
Fun fact,
think,
wait, Lois and
okay,
I
go.
did a cooking Lois and I did a cooking video for a YouTube channel, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
honestly like a fail.
Yeah,
so
it was a fail. It was
it's
the
not coming
worst.
out. It's
It's
not
not
coming
coming
out.
out. We might film another
Um
one, but that one's not coming out.
it's not coming out cuz yeah, it was like vegan cupcakes ba yun.
Yeah.
It tasted good, but
Yeah,
it's
masarap yung
not coming.
cupcakes.
It's
Pero
not
yung
coming out.
video, hindi siya masarap.
We're yung video, especially
Kinakain.
yeah. Yeah, no. Okay, so anyways, that marks the last question from Instagram. We would like to give thanks to everyone who has submitted their questions, and hopefully you're satisfied with our answers.
So we hope that everyone enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed answering your questions. I honestly like did not expect us to go on for that long, because like there's honestly so much to talk about. Like uh there's we have so many insights and like so many memories, and I could do this all day. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in to our second episode and for showing support for our podcast. And we all really, really appreciate it. So, thank you so much, guys, for listening. And we hope you get to know everyone more.
Okay, so this is the Kilalanin Natin host signing off. Thank you so much for listening, and see you on our next episode. Bye!
Bye!
You can subscribe to the Kilalanin Natin podcast on both YouTube and TikTok, or follow at Kilalanin Natin on Instagram and Twitter.